Good evening, everybody. I'm calling meeting to order. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Gary, would you please take the roll?
Councilmember Schmidt.
Here.
Councilmember Dittrich.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Here.
Councilmember Sherburne.
Here.
Councilmember Gray.
Here.
Okay, everybody's here. First item, are there any changes to the agenda for tonight?
I have no changes.
Okay. Any council people? All right, with that, I take a motion to approve the agenda for tonight. I move to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? Linda?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And Mary Ann?
Yes.
Okay, next is our public input period. Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record before proceeding with any comments. Individual remarks are limited to 5 minutes, with the overall public input period limited to 30 minutes. Under Iowa Open Meetings Law, the city council can take no formal action on comments given during the public input period which do not relate to action items on the agenda. Is there anybody who'd like to speak to the council tonight?
Jay Schmidt, 750 Ridgewood Drive, Manchester, Iowa. First thing I'd like to hand these out to some people. This is some rules. Everybody wants to look at it, go right ahead.
While you're doing that, Randy, there's chairs in there. Would you get some out for us, please?
And I'll set in my office, please. Yeah, my office, there's 2 there, you can take, or maybe even 3.
Thank you.
Here.
Okay, these are the rules for the Manchester Press. And all candidates in the orange. Responses will be run side by side. And I'm gonna bring this up tonight. Because our mayor, her interview, front page. And it says side by side. Second page, Linda and Diane. Third page, fourth page, Kurt and Mary Ann. And you go back all the way to the 10th page. There's Joe, but here's the extra insult, help wanted. I want everybody to see that. Talk about insulting somebody. Like, you better find a different job. This is very, it's disgusting is what it is. I don't know what you folks think, but you can see it. It's very disgusting. And it's par for the course around here at times. There's no reason for this. It just, and here's the rules right here. It's in orange. Everybody can see that. It should have been side by side. And I don't know how they're gonna fix this, but I know they won't. So, it's just disgusting is what it is. And also some other things been happening with this election. People put the rumor out that the city's been plowing our private driveway. We got a private road in front of our house. And the city's been plowing it. I'm kind of wondering where that came from, but who knows? But I had at least 30 to 40 people mention that to me, and some were irritated. And I said, no, the city doesn't plow it, I do. The city's never plowed it. We got our own equipment, and I take care of the road. And I'd like to see the city manager tell everybody that it does not get done by the city. I think you probably know that. Okay. Also, I've been asked by some people to talk about the airport. Now, airport's been a big issue for a lot of people in here. Actually, when Joe and Brian and Linda, Joe and Brian just got in office, they got turned in by Tirsa Wedewer for having meetings, investigation. Linda had to turn her phone in, her laptop, look all that over. They found nothing wrong. Now, I'm understanding now that Tirsa Wedewer, she resigned from the airport committee, but she's still advisor to the airport committee. Now, I don't know if this is right or not, but you people that go to the meetings would know that. So we got a lot of stuff going bad in this election. And, I'm just waiting to see what the next thing falls on with us. So, that's about all I got to say. So Ed, if you wanna get up, go ahead.
What crap are you made out of?
Okay, stop. That's not what we're here for, but I will address a couple things right now. I'm tired of being gaslit for the last 4 weeks, probably pretty much. And the thing with the press, I had nothing to do with that, and to insinuate otherwise tonight is wrong. It doesn't look right, but the person that you need to be talking to is the Manchester Press. We have no control over that. We all did the same thing. We all said all the things that we were supposed to do. We're given how many words you could use and everything else. To insinuate otherwise, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's false. I had no control over there. I didn't know how they were gonna put it in there. I never do. Number two. No,
Connie,
no,
I think you need to stop.
okay, I'm gonna
We
stop.
cannot address, we cannot.
No, but I am
Yeah.
going to just say on myself that I did not do that, and that is somebody that you need to do. Okay, you need to talk to the Manchester Press. We can handle it here. The rest of the stuff, I'll be happy to visit with you after the meeting and talk to you one-on-one about those, okay? And thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else like to approach the council tonight? Yes, Jim, go ahead.
Jim Hill, 1551 210th Street. Since 1987, I have resided across from the Manchester Airport, and I possess extensive knowledge of the aircraft stored or based on that field for the past 25 years. During this period, I was a Quicksilver aircraft dealer with 2 hangars located on my private property here adjacent to the airport, not on the airport property. I owned a large inventory of airplanes throughout the years. Additionally, I previously owned a large hangar at the airport, which was sold in 2024, as many of you may know, as well as 2 smaller hangars on the east side of the runway. These 2 hangars were removed in accordance with my lease rights, which permitted such action. Although there was a specific rationale behind the removal, I was not consulted regarding my decision by anyone from the airport board or the city council. Rather, a member of the airport committee convened a special airport meeting based on the assumption that my actions were intended to close the airport. This interpretation does not reflect my intentions. As I was a staunch supporter of the airport for 20 years and a member of the airport board for 20 years, I helped clean the place up, mow the yard, trim the trees out of the runway. I was a very strong supporter of this airport for 20 years. So people said that, that's wrong. Now I want to approach the NIPIAS application. This is the application where you all are getting your money. At the time of the NIPIAS application, there were only 5 or 6 aircraft on the field. The city or airport committee members, I don't remember which, requested all of my aircraft N numbers, which I provided. While 1 or 2 of mine were at the Manchester Airport, the others were kept in a private hangar adjacent to the airport and were misrepresented as N-numbered based aircraft at this airport. I urge you as responsible city council members to thoroughly investigate and verify the facts surrounding the original NIPIAS application and the reporting of N-numbered based aircraft at Manchester Airport. It is essential that you seek and review the relevant documentation to ensure the accuracy of the information provided. Pursuing this matter will help confirm the validity of the data and uphold the transparency in the management of the airport. I am here because of misleading statements made by airport committee members and Tim Bick from the city of Manchester. For example, I just want to give you one, there's been so many misleading misrepresentation from people on the board and other places. For example, Pat Schmidt at a board meeting a couple weeks or a month ago, last month I think it was, said we have 20 airplanes listed as owned by people in Delaware County. And said, you know, we've got 20 planes here. Well, 11 of them are drones that you put in a trailer to spray planes with, but they have to have an N number. So there are not 20 airplanes. There's like 8 at the airport right now. I'm sure the FAA would be most interested in finding out the true facts of the original NIPIAS application. Council members should request copies of the initial application, as well as the biannual reports of N-numbered aircraft based at the airport, submitted to the FAA by Tim Bick to remove and verify this information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who'd like to approach the council tonight?
Tanya Bradley, 16242, 188th Street. First, before I go into my spiel, the having the council members, driveways, areas, done by the city, that's been around for years. And if you haven't heard it, you're really not talking to people because that's been around for a very, very long time. So it just kind of comes with the territory.
But it's not true.
No, it's not true. It never has been true. So good evening, council members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today. I want to highlight some concerns that not just affect the practice of our council, but the trust our community places in its leadership. First, council meetings are vital, but they're only one part of civic engagement. Public service is not and should not be confined to attendance at council meetings or participation in official votes. True leadership is demonstrated through active engagement through the community, through volunteering, supporting local initiatives, and being present in the everyday lives of the constituents you represent. When elected officials limit their involvement to formal proceedings like council meetings, it risks creating a perception that service is performative rather than purposeful. And we can all see who supports community events and volunteers their time and not just during an election year. Secondly, there have been troubling signs that undermine the faith that the citizens of this town have put into their elected officials. When one council member's spouse appears to exert undue influence over certain members of the council, it raises questions about transparency and fairness, as those individuals that were voted into office, not their spouse. This has been demonstrated throughout the past 4 years and can be observed through the viewing of previously recorded council meetings. Our community deserves decisions made through open dialogue, not behind the scenes control. As for the creation of additional committees, such as efficiency, each of you were chosen by the people to serve with purpose, accountability, and respect. That responsibility includes making thoughtful decisions, using resources wisely, and leading with integrity. Honor the trust they placed in you, not by creating more layers of oversight, but just doing your job. Also, council members and potential council members that spread unfounded rumors and disrespectful behavior on social media, whether directed at our constituents or our dedicated city employees, did not strengthen our leadership. They weaken it. An example, we all know that council meetings will continue to be live streamed and recorded for viewing on YouTube, no matter whom is elected. Let's also remember that our community extends past city limits and not all businesses, owners, and members of our community reside within them, but their impact is felt there every day. Those individuals also invest in our economy, create jobs, and contribute to the vibrancy of our community. Their voices matter, their contributions count, and their partnership is essential to our shared success. Leadership means recognizing and valuing every stakeholder who helps build the future that we all want to see. A healthy community depends on the free exchange of ideas and respectful consideration of differing perspectives. When disagreement is met with exclusion or retaliation, it undermines the very principles that represent our government. Disagreement is not disrespect. It's democracy, and when dissent is met with hostility, we all lose. You were elected to lead, and in moments of disagreement, it's a powerful opportunity. to listen deeply, to speak with respect, and to rise above conflict. The public is watching, not only to what you decide, but how you treat one another in the process. In closing, I urge you to reflect on the example you're setting. Are you building bridges or burning them? Are you lifting up voices or are you silencing them? Ensure your actions reflect the values that we want our community to uphold. Thank you.
Anybody else who'd like to approach the council tonight? Okay, hearing none, we will close the public comment period, and we will move on to the consent agenda. First item tonight is, item 1, a motion to approve the minutes from the October 6th council meeting, the October 13th meeting, and then our tour of A1 storage facility. Next, I need a motion to approve resolution 92, approving the bills and the expense reports. I need a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the city reports and minutes from the library board and the P and Z commission. I need a motion to approve the liquor license. It's a renewal application for the alley on East Main Street. And I need a motion to approve payment and a claim totaling $790.17 to Cook and Michael for engineering services. There's no more items there. I'll entertain a motion to approve and then we can open it up for discussion.
I move for approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any questions, comments? None? Okay. Marion,
Yes.
Bill,
Yeah.
Joe?
Yes.
Linda? And Brian?
Yes.
Okay, next, it's 5:16 of opening a public hearing on the proposed expansion of the Manchester urban renewal area. I'm gonna let you speak to that, Tim, and then we can open it up for public input.
Yeah, so what we're doing here is the location for the Farmer Savings Bank. That was in the urban renewal area that started about 13 years ago, which meant it had about 7 years left on its lifespan for urban renewal areas. To reset the clock, we removed that property from the urban renewal area. We are now looking to add it back in, resetting the clock for economic development and working on a development agreement with Farmer Savings Bank in order for them to continue their development here in town. This is similar to what we've done with other projects in town. The only difference is the urban renewal timeframe was running against us, and so we had to reset the clock.
This is an open meeting, so if anybody has any comments or concerns, now's the time to address the council. Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing at 5:17, and before us, we have resolution 93, another declare necessity and establish an urban renewal area. I hear a motion.
I will make a motion to adopt, Mayor.
Okay,
I'll second.
I got a quick question real quick.
absolutely.
On this urban renewal, because the Farmer State, Savings Bank has already started building there, started doing the dirt work and stuff, this isn't gonna affect their ability to get the tax breaks.
It does not.
Okay,
They will have the tax breaks. Again, what we're proposing is our standard development agreement, which is a 10-year 50% tax rebate. So they pay their property taxes, we rebate it to them.
right,
They won't have value until January 1, when the assessor finally puts a value where they're at.
on the finished product.
If it's even finished, it may be only 50%, so it's 50% value at that point in time. So it will continue because property taxes are 18 months behind. That's when we'll still look at that. So realistically, their full value may not come on until January 1st, 2027.
Any other questions? Okay, Bill,
Yes.
Mary Ann,
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
and Joe.
Yes.
Okay, next we have a motion to proceed with the first consideration adoption of ordinance 9, and that is for our TIP district.
That's correct. Urban renewal area is part of our city's ordinance, as we're going through the program here with the development agreement. Under Iowa law, we have to spell out what we are using tax increment financing for, so we're putting this into our ordinance.
Any questions on that? And if there aren't any, I'll entertain a motion.
Once again, I'll make a motion to proceed with the first consideration.
I'll second
One last time for any comments or questions. Bill,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Mary Ann,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
and Brian.
Yes.
Okay, next. We have a motion to adopt resolution 94, and that's setting a date and time of the meeting. It's proposed to approve the development agreement with Farmers Bank, including annual appropriations. And what's the date for the meeting?
This will be November 10th at 5 PM for a public hearing. On the proposed development agreement.
I hear a motion for that.
I make a motion to.
I'll second it. Okay. Any other further questions? Brian,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes.
Mary Ann.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
And Bill.
Yes.
All right. Next, we'll go on to, we have the next regular agenda meeting. I believe Brian and Mary Ann met with Mark earlier this week. Is that correct? Or last week about utility easement? You want to bring us up to speed on that?
Sure.
Motion, we're gonna discuss it and then potential action. Yes.
Okay, so we did meet with Mark, regarding utility lines. So we have a storm sewer that extends west along the end of Line Street, clear over, towards the river. Part of Line Street is platted right away. There is a stormwater utility easement. We have a 30-foot north of said, section line, 10 foot south of the section line. So total of 40 foot for stormwater utility easement. We did trace out that storm sewer with our camera, verify the location. We got what we could, because it is a 30-inch reinforced concrete pipe that's very fairly deep. It's 8 feet in the ground, so the signal gets bounced around, so we traced it best we could. We worked with Randy Rattenberg in order for us to trace out where the easement area is itself, and then see if that storm sewer was actually in the easement area or outside of it. It does appear that there's a portion of the storm sewer that is not physically inside the easement area. So that was one of the concerns that was brought up by Mr. Fink. Another item that was brought up was a water main that extends west along the end of Line Street and runs south along the east side, or excuse me, the west side of the property. Called Lot 1 subdivision, runs north-south. There was a 15-foot water main easement and a 15-foot construction easement for a total of 30 feet. They did trail the water main out. It does look towards the south end of that, towards Acre Street. The water main does extend outside of that easement area and cuts across the corner of that lot, and therefore it's outside of the easement area. So talking with Mr. Fink and trying to make a determination as to what would be an appropriate or acceptable agreement to do this. What Mark had proposed was a 10-foot storm sewer easement centered on top of the existing storm sewer main running east-west at the end of Line Street, and a 15-foot water main easement running north-south centered on top of the existing water main running north-south along the west edge of Lot 1. Mark had asked also, as part of the compensation for those easements, waiver of the water hookup fee for one residential connection to the water main when he experiences issues with his wells. Waiver of future road assessment for street improvements to Acre Street until the property is developed. And the city to resurface existing road surface of Acre Street from the end of Acre Street to the right of way, a point approximately 720, 730 feet to the east. So those were the conditions that he initially started with. Council, the subcommittee did not have any direction from the councils to what our negotiation points were going to be. So this was what we came up with. They seem somewhat reasonable. Talking with some of my staff, they do have some concerns, especially with the storm sewer. It's 10 feet wide, centered on that, but it's barely deep, and it's a 30-inch pipe. There's not really enough room for us to dig that out and do any work on it if we have to. With the water main itself, there's enough room. We don't have the equipment we could do it because they'd want to swing all the way around. The back only goes 90 degrees either way, so 180-degree swing. What staff has proposed is they would like to see us maybe do a 20-foot easement centered on the mains so that we have adequate access to do the work, to do any repairs if necessary. That was the only request staff had, but again,
Would that be on both or just?
Both.
Both.
keep them both at 20 foot.
So that's consistent.
What's kind of standard, Tim?
It varies. It does. Part of it depends upon how deep it is. Water main typically is 6.5 feet deep, and it's a 6-inch to 12-inch pipe. Storm sewer, tends to be shallow too, depends upon the lay of the ground. But this one is fairly deep. It's 8 to 10 feet buried, and it's a 30-inch pipe, which means it has a 36-inch outer diameter. That's 3 feet. Dig on either side of that, it gets pretty shallow, and then we do have some areas of town that there's a lot of sand. So it tends to have potential collapsing of the walls. You gotta do a lot of shoring, so it's a little bit more difficult to maintain that 10 foot in that scenario. So that is the rationale staff has proposed.
I think even at your 20 feet, that gets to be, especially in sandy areas, like it still gets to be,
It can be the deeper you.
you're only gonna have, even shoring on, the 5 foot they do.
They can do a trench box, 5 to 6 foot. But you have to get down to it first before. you
Yeah,
start.
you gotta get down to it.
What does Mark think about this?
I haven't asked Mark yet because staff just got back to me today with it. So Mark, if you'd like to come up, Connie, if you're. okay.
Yeah.
Mark, you're on the agenda, so you can come up and talk. If you would, Mark, please come.
The camera picks up.
Yeah, and the microphones pick up better too.
Try to look shorter too.
I'm not sure the 20 foot for the storm sewer, the water main already is 15, so I was just moving that where it needs to be.
Mhm.
I'm really not interested in going any wider than that, because if I ever develop that ground, then that takes out where the houses and stuff can go. Because now we got the setbacks are all different from the easement.
Setbacks are based off of property line and not easement lines. So in the front yard setback in a residential, for example, is 25 foot. So if you're 10 foot on one half of it for that property, or even if the full 20 is there in that front yard, it's only, part of the setback is the full 25. So that 20 foot is inside that setback area.
But you can't build on that though.
Well, you couldn't build on it before anyway, if that was part of the setback requirement. So the setback,
Your side lots are only 5,
6.5.
okay?
Yeah, a rear yard is 30. So it just depends on how you plan to lay that property out and use for access points for any future streets and right of ways.
Yeah, that's my only concern with the easements going that wide. Cause then that extends over into the next property as well. That's why the storm sewer, I wanted to go 10. Cause that keeps it all on this property and not onto the other property.
When you say this property, you're talking about lot 1?
No, there's a property north of lot 1, the Line Street extension. That's a
Okay.
separate lot.
So there's already a 40-foot easement north of lot 1. So are you proposing a 10-foot easement?
There's 2 lots there. There's lot 1 that the field is, and then there's another 30-foot strip up through there. The 40
Okay, that
foot,
was,
the 40-foot strip is north of that. Only 10 foot of that's on my property.
okay, that would line up though with a future road right of way for Line Street.
Correct.
So that would already be within the right of way area, if that was to be developed as a city street.
If it was to be developed, yes. The east part is, the west part's not.
Are you saying the street would be further south of that or
No, the street would be north of that.
north of that?
But if I give you a 20-foot easement, now that easement's coming into that property. And I wanna keep it all on that street part.
So your proposal is for an additional 10-foot easement on top of what we already have in place? Or is this reviewing or reducing the 40-foot easement already in place?
It's got nothing to do with that easement, that's already there.
Okay,
Would it be better if you guys, since staff got back to you today, that you guys sit down and
yeah,
walk through that?
I'd
with
like
you
to
and
find
Mark?
out, to
Yeah.
verify that that's just one of the points. I wanna make sure there isn't any other anything else we need to talk about?
Did you have any other questions, Mark? I mean, I don't think we're gonna make a decision here tonight. I mean, or.
That's up to the council.
That was really the only,
That was my only, when we talked, when we met last week, that was, I don't wanna extend over
Extend
into
over
other
that.
properties where it's not at.
I just remark, you're a master at a backhoe. 10 foot wide, trying to go down 8 feet gets a little, you can do it. But it's trying to set the box in without everything coming back around, but we don't know who would be repairing that down the road. That's my only thing. I thought it needed to be a little bit bigger. That's why, no offense, I'd sooner have you guys work it out and figure this out and then bring it back to us if that's possible.
Can we meet in the middle? We're gonna give 10 foot, right now is what the idea was. They want 20. Can we go to 15 and call it a day and just move forward?
You're 8 foot down.
I know we're 8 foot down.
8 foot down and you're only gonna give 15 feet or even 10 feet.
I don't have a problem giving 20 feet as long as it's north of lot one.
Okay,
Well, that's what I said. We just need to.
because right now lot one lines up with the right of way line for the line street.
Correct.
Whatever those
As
are.
long as it's 20 foot north of that line, that's fine. Cause it's in the street right away, if I ever develop that.
In the future, potential right of way.
Correct.
Okay,
well, I guess that's where we wanna be then, right?
As long as everything's north of lot one, I'm fine with that. If you wanna go 20 feet, start at the property line, go north, that's fine.
Jason, and we did televise that and we traced it and it is north of that lot one, correct?
I would still wanna verify that, to be honest with you, to make sure that we're.
Well,
we are-
okay, we'll talk about that to verify, to make sure it's still above lot one, that there is absolutely nothing in lot one.
It is. There's an as-built that Ryan Wicks did.
Mhm. So you're saying the storm sewer is already in lot one? No, it's
North of lot one.
okay,
There's an as-built that Ryan did a couple months ago.
okay,
It shows exact location of the storm sewer and the easement.
yeah, Randy did,
Randy's out here, right?
Yeah, he's out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
and we traced it,
Yeah,
and that's the best we
as long
could,
as
with
we're,
right?
as long as we're over top of it, that's the
We
biggest
got room to
thing.
the side of it, to dig next to it.
Even at 20 feet, we're gonna have to spin around with an excavator, load the trucks and back over top, if, you know, which we can't make it work if, you know.
We can contract out, that's
Yeah.
not a big deal. Okay. So as long as we stay north of lot one, you're okay with it?
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
So do we do action tonight, or how do you want to proceed?
We have Jim Peters prepare the documents for everybody to sign off on and approve.
We need actual easement to record with that drawing.
Yeah, do we have to, we're not doing a public hearing.
No, but we would have a vote for you to get signed and then we'd have to vote to accept the easement.
Correct.
So do we have to vote to tell
No, Jim,
Jim to move forward with this? This is what we want, the 20 foot above the.
yes.
And Randy's out here. Do we need Randy to? No, okay.
You just need to, you're giving us direction so I can prepare the easement and then we'll get it to Mark. If he's good with it, then we can have the city accept it.
Would it be the proposed easement and then the requested compensation is listed in the packet? I just wanna make sure we're voting on the same
We
thing
do the whole thing in one.
In one,
So-
okay.
in one shot, so have that all included and then.
So I make a motion that we move forward, we do move forward.
Okay,
Making sure that the easement stays north.
Stays north.
The lot one.
Lot one.
And then the other, just make sure it's right, the
Okay.
north out be 15 like it already
Yes.
is, just move it over to the
Yeah.
existing spot where the water main is.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay,
I'll second that, Brian.
all right. Any other further discussion or questions? Did you have anything else? Mark?
Don't think so.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I was with Mark when we had this discussion, and I told him this at the time, so I'm just gonna be upfront and tell you again, Mark. I don't approve of resurfacing the existing road surface. And the reason is because it goes to one home. And so we would be paying to surface this road to go to Mark's house. It's not that I have anything against Mark. Mark and I have been friends for a long time. But I just feel like we have better use of our money than paving the road at this point. When Mark decides that he wants to go ahead and put in housing and so on, then to me, that's the time that we not only pave the road, but we put in everything else we do, the whole schmear all at once. and do it like we would any other street. But as long as there's nothing else there, I'm having a really hard time spending the money to put in a street that only one family's gonna use. And I told this to Mark before, and he said he understood where I was coming from. So I just wanted to say that again, because we've had this discussion. I just don't feel it's a good use of our money. So for that reason, I will be voting against this, but it's only because of that. It has nothing to do with the easements. It has nothing to do with the hookup. I approve of all of that. I just don't think at this point we should be paving the road. So,
Would you?
sorry, Mark.
Would you be willing to split the street?
Nope, I've already tried that.
But not with us.
Not with you, no, 2013, I offered to pay for half of it, 2014, I offered to pay for half of it, this spring I offered to do the shoulders. The answer is always no. So my answer is no, I'm not willing to pay for anything. I've tried to work with you guys.
Well, and I like the fact that you still came back to us and let us try one last time. I think this is a good trade-off for us to get our easement that we need for the city. This could go very ugly and get into lawyers, and I don't want that. I would just as soon work with you, to show that we are here to work with the people of this town. I think it's a good deal, what you proposed.
It's not the only street in town here that only one house is on.
Right, well, thank
Thanks,
you,
Mark.
Mark. All right. I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All right, Brian,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Linda. Yes. And Mary Ann.
No,
All right, next we have a discussion. Linda had brought up a discussion considering the possibility of recording city board and commission and committee meetings. Do you want to speak to this, Linda, or?
Yes, there are members on the council that cannot attend the meetings, and it would be great that they could watch these meetings when they get a chance to be, because Joe's center point, Ryan is very busy. Everybody else that wants to see them, and I know Bill can't make them either. So I think we should be taping them.
Not opposed to that at all.
Okay.
I guess I'd like to know which ones we're gonna be doing, because there are certain ones that are not held here. Are we going to buy several sets of owls so that they can be moved? For instance, we have a library board that meets in the library. Do we force them to come here, or do we buy another set of owls so that we can go there? I just think that's something we need to talk about a little bit, because I think that it's important to know where we're headed with this. So Linda, what are you saying here?
Well, I
guess?
am saying the meetings that have the most meat into them, like the board of adjustment.
So would you
planning
list,
and zoning.
okay, so you're saying planning and zoning, board of adjustment, go ahead,
Those are the two really important ones.
okay,
I
so you're saying for those two then? You're not saying
Unless
for
anybody
everything,
else
because see, the way I was
has
taking it was we were gonna do
No.
all of these.
think. No.
And I don't think we can do
No,
all
we
of
can't
these,
justify
because we have
doing that.
meetings that are in Dubuque, we have meetings
No.
that are every place.
Just,
Okay,
and,
those two, thank you, that's what I
and,
need.
and the airport also, because those meetings are held here too. All three of them.
So you want those three? You
For
wanna
sure,
think
unless
about this for a
anybody
second?
else has anything they would.
Would you do me a
I-
favor, as you make the motion, then would you put that in specifically,
Sure.
which ones, because I think that's important,
Sure.
as opposed to just saying,
Sure.
we're going to put them all on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's
understand.
important to say specifically
I think we
which
should
ones you
record
think.
every single one of them. I don't think there's anything wrong with being 100% transparent for the citizens of Manchester, and this will give us the ability to do so. And if it's gonna cost us a little bit of money, then so be it. If we gotta make it to where people come here, then we'll figure a way, but to be transparent for the citizens, I think is the most important.
I totally agree.
I did talk with, Allison Hagelin, the library director, and they do have, some equipment at the library. Allison is actually here, where, they would potentially be able to record the meeting. She's gonna run it by her board to discuss with them. Am I speaking correctly, Allison?
I have a laptop. I do not have any, other than the laptop,
Allison, please.
other than the laptop, camera, I do not have a camera to use. So, and I I'm just gonna say, I don't think it's appropriate for me to come here for my board meetings because we're talking about the library and a lot of times we talk about the actual library building and for us not to be there doesn't make sense to me. So we would have, like, that's one thing. I did check with the state library just to see about all what that would mean for us. And that was the biggest thing was that and then the retention, making sure, like right now, I don't have a place to keep those recorded. Not that I can't, I mean, I'm sure I can find a way, but right now I don't. So I'd have to get that as well. A place to keep those, because that's public record then. As soon as it's recorded, then it's has to stay.
So there'd be a little work we'd have to do as far as, you know, owls for the library, you know, whether we need to expand our Zoom.
We'd have to extend
Zoom
license.
Zoom license, because that's what we utilize, and then our YouTube and figuring out how we can categorize it that would make sense for the public so that you're not just inundated with 40 meetings when you go there. If you're going to look for library board meetings, you can click somewhere and find library board meetings. All things we can figure out. It's just gonna take a little bit of time.
Yeah, and I will talk with my board about it. I mean, it's not something that we can't do. It is in open records law, you know, that you can do that. And so it's not something that we can't do. It's just something that I don't have all the material, equipment for. And so I just want to make sure that you guys know, whatever you decide, we will have to get more equipment for it. So.
Donna. I'm on Delaware County Economic Development. Is this something you're
I'm very worried about because we cannot display and we are a public.
come talk over here, please? I'm sorry.
Delaware County Economic Development is a 501(c)(4), which is a separate entity from the city of Manchester. Because there's representation, we do not have to follow the same open meeting laws of.
We're more of a liaison.
Correct. So there's times we talk about future projects that we cannot discuss. It's confidential.
Perhaps we could specify that city established, not even city appointed, but like ones that were created by the city.
Yeah, could we,
Either through the code or through a mayoral
Because,
or a
like-
council resolution.
could we sit down and make a list?
It'd
Then,
be easier to enforce from my end if we have.
if we knew what we were
says
doing.
What it is, so we don't have a question. I don't care if you televise everything, but it'd be nice to, so you all know what it is on a master list.
Can you talk about it at committee as a whole?
We could bring it up at committee of the whole, and then we could do a resolution or something
Okay,
like
I
that,
just think it's
listing out all
important
the
to
boards
know
for
which ones we're
the next council
specifically
meeting,
doing.
but we could bring the listing of the boards and commissions back to the committee for you all to review.
Because some of these aren't even done in Manchester, you know?
No, and those are really ones where we're kind of liaisons, so.
But I think that instead of having this list and saying, we're going to do all of them, I think
Yeah.
we need to have a list of what
Have
we
it
are. gonna do.
specified.
Does that seem reasonable to everyone to
Mhm.
make a list of what we're doing?
Is everybody in agreement on that?
Yep.
Good idea.
Beneficial.
Okay, all right, so we'll talk about that the next committee as a whole.
Thank you.
So this was on there for action and discussion, so we're gonna need a motion to table it.
No, we'll just
It
continue.
was just discussion, we've given them direction, and then we'll.
We'll bring it back to committee hall with recommendation or listing of which boards and committees are on there, and if the council has choices, we can draft it and then have it ready for the first meeting in November.
I just put it on there as action in case the council decided to take action tonight. You're not required to, it just would give you the option to.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Ready to move on? Okay, the next one, we have a request for a special exemption for livestock. Lisa White and her mom would like to have some chickens, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you want to talk to the council at all, or you can just right up here,
I thought they had questions.
or in case you have any questions for it, looks like your neighbors.
Wanting to do.
Okay, just 6
I
chickens.
mean,
is
I
all?
grew up, the house had roosters right next door, a block from where I live now. I
Okay,
don't want no roosters. I just wanted my hens to lay some eggs.
Okay. Yeah, we were chasing roosters down the street the other day, so, yeah, somebody got loose here in town, so.
And Lisa did provide a letter with signatures from the neighbors as well as a drawing of kind of the
Yeah,
layout.
it's just gonna go where my dog run was on my cement pad in the back,
Okay.
along the back alley.
I think we were just concerned because we weren't hearing from neighbors. We didn't know what the neighbors thought and,
I
and
talked to him, and the one just had moved out that weekend, right before I got signatures, or was moving out that weekend.
Okay.
It's just something I've been trying to get done for a couple of years so that they're not in the basement. Every once in a while.
For me personally, it looks like you're checking all the boxes for everything that we've been asking as far as these chickens, so I'd like to make a motion to approve this, this livestock special exception.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
You wanna rock, paper, scissors?
Right.
Okay. All right, any other questions or comments? Thank you for coming, Lisa. Joe,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes.
Mary Ann.
Yes.
And Bill.
yes, yes.
All right, next, I have a motion to proceed with the third consideration, and final adoption of ordinance 6. And this is regarding the property, deleting property from the tax increment
That's
financing.
what we talked about
Earlier, yep. So do I hear a motion and second for that?
I move for approval of ordinance 6.
I'll second.
I'll second
Okay, Linda's gonna take it this
Okay,
time.
it's fine.
All right, anything else? Any other questions? Mary Ann?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Bill? And
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
All right, next I need a motion to waive, potentially, we're gonna talk about potentially doing, this is about the fence heights that we,
This is
Updating the
the
ordinance.
conflict in the code between the two
Yeah.
corners, a fence in the vision triangle.
and if you guys want to proceed with the second and go to the third, or waive the second, go to the third consideration, we can do that at this time unless somebody has questions on it.
Okay, I make a motion to waive the second and move on to the third consideration of ordinance 7.
And I'll second that.
Clean motion. Good job, Linda.
Okay. All right, Mary Ann?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And Joe?
Yeah.
All right, next, I need a motion. Let's see.
The third and final consideration.
Yes, a motion to do the third and final consideration then.
I will make a motion on that to.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a vote. Bill?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Mary Ann?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
And Brian?
Yes.
All right, next we'll move on to this is action and discussion. This, ordinance 8. To amend about the city code establishing comprehensive regulations for accessory building structures and shipping containers. And I think we talked about this for P and Z to talk again.
Yes, council voted to send this back to P and Z for further consideration or review. I did receive requests from 2 council members to have this brought back for tonight, first to take, discuss, and possible action.
Okay,
Can I ask what P and Z said?
P and Z has not met yet.
Okay.
To review this. Now, they have discussed accessory buildings and steel siding multiple times in the last 20 years. But they have not had a chance to review what the council had sent back to them because they meet once a month.
So why don't we table this for the next meeting, or,
It was requested to bring this back.
but we didn't get anything from P and Z though. So it's kind of funny, it's even on if never get able to that.
who requested to have it put back up?
Joe and Bill agreed to have it brought
Yeah.
back up.
Oh, but I was thinking P and Z were coming first.
No,
Sorry.
yeah.
What he said.
I was gonna say.
Okay, because
I mean, that's what we thought. We thought.
I'd like to make a motion to table this ordinance until after P and Z sees it.
And I think they meet on the 20th.
20th.
So that's when their next meeting is.
Which means it would not come before you until that
December.
Monday.
Okay.
No need for us to look at it until they see it.
Exactly.
Okay, then we'll table that. Next, a motion, to adopt resolution 95, that's approve the subdivision
Do I
plat.
gotta have a second and vote on that table one?
No.
We've already tabled it at the previous meeting, but you're just directing us.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Table it.
We don't do average for.
Yeah.
All right, I need a motion to adopt resolution 95, and that's approving the subdivision plat of MEI South subdivision. You want to speak to that, Tim, please?
Manchester Enterprise has acquired some land south side town. It's the old, it's a US Speeds, Greencroft property, right there in Bend.
Mhm.
Taz Kimler purchased it and they acquired it from him. They're wanting to replat that. They do have someone that's interested in where the buildings are.
Mhm.
The rest of the agricultural land on the south side there, they combined there with lot 2, and then designate lot A, which would be the right of way area. Because this is a former county property, the legal description goes to the center of the road, and there's a ingress easement through there, road right of way easement. But within the city limits, we actually own the right of way, so lot A would be designated, or dedicated to the city at some point in the future.
Randy's here. I mean, it's, I mean, did you want to just speak to it a little bit so it's a little more clear?
Yeah, speak English on
We're in the hallway or in here?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so basically what it is we're just basically starting with 2 lots or ending with 2 lots. And then lot A, like Tim said, is just all road right away. It's currently road easement right now.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the usage isn't gonna change. It's just dedicating it to the city like we typically do for road right away.
Okay.
When we do a subdivision, if it's not already dedicated to the city.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Randy before I let him go? No? Thank you. If there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion in a second.
I will make a motion to adopt, Mayor.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Any other questions? Bill,
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Mary Ann?
Yes.
And Joe?
Yes.
All right, next. Our last item for the night is I need a motion to adopt resolution 96, and that's approving the contract and performance and or payment bonds for the airport runway rehabilitation project with River City Paving. You can speak to this, Tim?
Yeah, we finally received the contracts executed, by River City Paving. At one point, River City Paving had marked out some of the items in the draft language of the contract. Stuff that FAA puts in there, and it's been in there forever. One of the things they had concerns with was performance requirements. For non-performance, we can keep their equipment. Well, that's not something we need to do, especially on a project like this. However, any changes to the contract had to be reviewed by the FAA before we could go back through, and if there was something they did not approve, it had to get put back to what the original language was. We have an agreement now. The contracts have been signed by River City Paving. The FAA is in agreement with them. So it's before you now for approval.
Yes, I will make a motion to, let's see, how would that be? Accept the bid, accept.
You're going
the
to
contract?
adopt resolution.
Adopt
Adopt
resolution 96.
resolution.
Yes.
96.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I guess, I'm having after discussion, from the public input as far as the Nibius money and everything that's involved out there. My gut is really on this as far as, do we have the right plans? Do we have enough plans? Are we legitimate out there? My gut is really, you know, I've asked for the original Nibius, report. I don't think I've ever seen that. I know I went out there and inspected the airports myself. There was only 7 planes out there. I'm just having a really hard time,
Well, all we're doing is re-blacktopping the runway.
yeah, I realize that, but we're taking federal funds again.
That has been approved.
That has been approved. They've given us
And
the
awarded
grant.
by contract from the FAA. We have the contract agreement and you approve the contract. So I understand there's some concerns. I understand people have brought things up and I will address them in my comments. But right now, council has approved a contract with the FAA. The FAA has awarded us the funding at 95% of the cost of this project, including engineering, for us to cover this. We went from thinking this was gonna cost the city of Manchester $85,000 down to less than $40,000.
It's actually gonna cost about the same as what it is to do the swimming pools floors.
Half as much as what we just spent on East Main Street blacktop. Just to put it into perspective.
$190,000 was what we spent on these.
Oh.
Man, it'd be about the same cost for doing Mark's driveway.
Depends what we're looking at.
Well, depends on what the contract is.
But again, we've already went through the NIPIAS process. The FAA has approved us as NIPIAS. They have not rejected us or removed us from the NIPIAS. So we are still under contract. We are still good to go as far as the FAA is concerned. They awarded us the money in the project funds for this project. They reviewed it. They said we were good to go.
Okay, is there any other discussion?
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, this is a great deal. There's nobody that's ever gonna argue the fact that it's a great deal, but the problem that is coming with this is ever since I've gotten in this council chair, I have not been able to fully trust the airport board with the information they have given me or other council members. We have removed one of the board members because of this fact, and now we have people coming to us again today saying that there's still more lying going on. So I really don't wanna vote on this tonight, to be honest with you, just simply because I don't know who I can trust and whose information is factual. And if it, so
I find it disturbing that the council does not trust the committees that are established.
I never lied to a single committee member the entire time I've been on city council, nor have I ever lied to a citizen about what we got going on here. The boards and committees cannot say the same thing.
And why do you say that?
What do you mean, why do I say that? Teresa Wedewer is no longer on the airport board because of the fact that she misled the city council.
That
That
is,
is the only reason why she was removed. And we made votes to remove her.
Yeah.
To have her removed, and you guys had her step down,
Mhm.
which is not the move that we were going for. The whole point was, and the reason why I wanted to
Okay,
do it
that's
was,
one person, that's not
Okay.
everybody.
if I can't trust you, I can't listen to you. And right now, I don't know who I can listen to right now, because I'm getting a lot of stuff from a lot of different people, and none of it is adding up. We're complaining about the airplanes, the end numbers, whose planes were really truly there, and whose were misrepresented, and everything's just a mess right now at this airport.
Can I address the council? Man?
No, he may not.
They don't decide that.
I dig like crazy, and I take so much time away from my family to do this job, and I do it with a lot of pride. And I'm just in a very, very tough spot right now, running for election for mayor, and I can't even get boards and commissions, to be honest with me. We're asking for, where's the NIPIAS Airport original application? We've been asking for that for a long time. None of us have I haven't received it. Have you received it? But Brian said he's not. Linda, have you gotten it? Have you guys gotten
I
it?
don't know if we have a copy in hand. One that was a previous employee.
It's public record.
Okay, I asked the FAA for a copy.
Okay, but it's a public record that we cannot come up with. That is disturbing to a lot of citizens. I'm getting a lot of heat right now from both sides.
Just a second,
Who's the custodian of the public record would be the question. Does the FAA do that?
The FAA should have a copy of it, because they keep a
Well,
copy.
we have to file every 2 years, right?
We don't file a report. Well, we
The
do,
NIPIAS report on the airplanes out there, correct?
well, what they asked for is based aircraft review. And so we are coming upon that time right now where we go back through and review all the airport planes that are based out there now.
How many based aircrafts do we have at Manchester Airport today?
As of right now is what I have on file. There's 8.
There's 8.
Yep. Taylor Tool is the newest one that is using the hangar that we acquired. John Jordan donated to the city. She's renting that hangar from us. Now her plane is out. It supplies. She had, Spencer Vanderborg's plane in there for a little bit because he was taking certified flight instructor lessons from her. He was flying out of the airport. So his plane was in that hangar while hers was outside someplace else so that she could host him there to do that. It does happen. You know, I've got 4 cars in my house. They're not always there.
Can we have the list, the original
base-
Prometheus?
But the base records
What would I
show
have?
the end numbers of based aircraft that are out there. I realize some go and come back, but the base aircraft out there.
I have the planes that were based out there in 2014. When that was put into place, I have the dates that they were entered in, the dates that they were deleted from the airport records. It doesn't happen on a daily basis. It's something we do once or twice a year, depending upon what is going on, because it's not that major of a project for me. But I have all that records, and that's something you had asked for this morning. I pulled that stuff together. I was planning on sending it out tomorrow. Actually, I was planning on sending it out this afternoon until my computer got tied up with conversion, so. That will go out to you tomorrow from 2014, what planes were out there, who they were under. Now, Councilmember Schmidt, you asked which ones were ultralights.
Yes.
Not every plane was identified as whether it's ultralight or not. I've got the end numbers. I've highlighted the ones that I think are ultralights. I can't guarantee it, we're tied to Mr. Hill's name.
Can we, through the end number, we can, figure out if it was a ultralight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can go to the website and it'll tell you what kind of plane it is, going and where.
But the key to that is if it has an N number, it's recognized by the FAA.
Even though it could be an ultralight?
Yes, this would be a light.
No,
spot
that
aircraft.
is incorrect.
It is correct.
That is incorrect.
It's considered a light sport.
It's a light sport and it's recognized by the FAA.
These
That's why it
planes
has
were
that
not
N
on
number.
the field.
We're not
The planes
in.
were at my.
Okay, stop,
Not at the
stop,
field.
stop. Okay.
Yes, he can't talk and I cannot.
Neither one of you, he got asked a question, you didn't.
But we,
Okay, so back to here. Tim,
You have a motion on the floor.
okay,
it was seconded.
In a
in a
second.
second, yes.
I think we need to table this so, until we get information from Tim.
All we are doing right
I know, but
is voting
just
to
hold that
approve the
until next time
contract
now.
performance bonds submitted by River City Paving.
You need to withdraw the motion in the second before you could do that.
And so we,
Just, I don't mean to be speaking, whispering here, before you could table this, you would have to have the person who made the motion withdraw their motion. Person who seconded the motion withdraw their second before you could.
and so that was Bill Sherbring and Mary Ann Pointer. Bill, you made the motion, Mary Ann, you seconded it.
If you want to table, you'd have to go through that to get to that, but otherwise you
And,
can't.
and just to clarify on the Iowa meetings laws, if we proceed with a vote that has been put on the floor and it goes down no, what happens next?
You have a no vote until something comes before you again. There's
You'd have to
nothing
have
that
a
would
couple
stop.
people would have to bring it back, just like you and Bill are gonna be.
Right.
tonight, yes.
So you'd have to have two people bring it back.
If there is that much doubt on this council as to whether or not this will pass, table it.
That's why I was asking, if you push this through to vote with this much.
I'm not trying to push it.
No, but I'm saying
Trying to
just
give
in
you the
general,
procedure.
I'm not saying you are, Jim, I'm just saying in general, if we push this through vote and we vote this down because of all the doubts in our minds right now, what does that say to the FAA? I'm not trying to kill an airport project. I'm not, by any means. I
Well,
just
then,
want,
can I suggest that we take away your motions and second, and we put it back, and can we have it as an additional item on our committee's of whole meeting?
I would just say we do it at our next regular meeting.
Next regular meeting, okay?
I give you 2 weeks to ask questions. I will get you the information tomorrow as far as the tail numbers.
Okay.
If you want me to research whether or not they are ultralight or not, give me some more time. As of right now, what I got put together was just based off of what is on the based aircraft website.
That would be good if you did differentiate between ultralights and the.
Can you also get the information as to whether or not the ultralights are allowed or not?
They were allowed at the time.
At the time.
Because that is what was submitted to the FAA,
Mhm.
and that's what the FAA based their decision to allow us into the Olympus
Back then,
back at that time.
The ultralights.
They were classified as a sport craft. So, was that was back when, the ultralights had to have the tail number,
mhm.
because that came out new.
So the people, the gal here coming to teach like Vandevor pilots lessons, you know, other people that are also taking lessons from her. Every time they land or take off at the airport, because it's not resurfaced, and I understand they want to table this. The resurfacing
project wouldn't happen until next spring because it's getting too cold. I don't understand where that has to do with resurfacing the blacktop for safety purposes, because
Mhm.
when we were out there, and you were all out there, there's the big dip on the end. What resurfacing the blacktop runway has to do with all the NIPIAS numbers and tail numbers and the number of planes out there. That's what I'm concerned about. So apparently safety is not an issue for you guys. If they wanna land at the airport and take their own risk, all we're trying to do is re-blacktop. So re-blacktopping a street,
Not
Or-
expanding it.
we're not
So,
expanding it, we're not making.
So, will they quit using the airstrip if we don't fix it till spring? Then that's it, you can't use it
We're
anymore,
not gonna be able to fix it till spring anyway.
but are they gonna continue to use it?
I would assume they're gonna continue to use it, but as they do with time, they have to be very careful on where they, I believe, land because of the big dip that could bend a prop, wheels. I understand I'm not a pilot, so I don't know all the fancy terms.
Well, I don't think 2
So
weeks
in
is
your
gonna make much
explanation,
difference.
then, basically, nobody should be landing there now.
Well, it needs to be, it's gonna keep getting worse.
When it,
And all we're doing here is approving
Maintenance.
the bond for River City paving. That's all we're really doing in this resolution right now. We're not saying anything about the NIPIAS, you know, if next spring they decide that, yeah, okay, we don't have enough airplanes for this and the NIPIAS of that. Then we'll have to figure out how much money we'll hold back to the FAA because of NIPIAS, if you guys decide you wanna close the airport. But all we're trying to approve right now is a contract and performance bond submitted by River City Paving for the runway rehabilitation or resurfacing project that we approved already this year. Under a 95.5 match, we're only gonna pay 5%. I don't understand why that's hard to understand.
Well, you must have a problem with waiting for 2 weeks, cause it's not gonna make that much of a difference now.
I got a question, a series of questions. So we're getting NIPIAS funding, 95.5, correct?
Correct,
And that is because we qualify as a NIPIAS airport, correct?
correct.
Meaning that we have 10 aircrafts.
No,
No,
that
Then
means
how do we become a NIPIAS airport?
we had 10 aircraft
No.
based there.
I'm asking like as if I wanted to start an airport today in my backyard, given I could do it, what would I have to do to become a NIPIAS airport? What do I have to have?
There's a series of things you have to do. You have to go through an airport layout plan.
Okay,
So the FAA has approved what your layout is.
correct.
You have to be at least 25 miles away from another NIPIAS air-based airport.
Right.
And they do have a threshold of 10 aircraft that they want to see you get to or be at.
Okay, so the big problem here is not safety. The big problem here is we have a huge question about the 10 aircrafts that we need to be an NIPIAS airport. That nobody can seem to ever figure out whose planes are really there, whose planes are not there, from the get-go. Since I've come to this chair, all I've done is ask questions about it. If the community wants this airport, then we'll give them the airport. Well, we're gonna make sure we do it legally. And there's a lot of questions by people all over the place that have inside knowledge and don't have inside knowledge, that are just simply asking questions about aircrafts, and we can never answer aircrafts. So that's step one of the problem. Step two of the problem is you start looking at, there are a couple of people sitting in these chairs now because other people that were here before us did not listen about not stealing land to build an airport that we couldn't even justify we needed. So this airport has been nothing but a thorn in everybody's side, trying to figure out how to compromise and make this work. And then when we start trying to compromise and selling you that, hey, I'm getting some reservations because I'm being lied to, somebody's lying to me. You can't tell me that I'm drinking water and I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper right now at the same time. I'm drinking water, so somebody's
So-
lying to me. So
so
we gotta
Joe-
figure out who's lying.
Can I ask, I thought we did come up with a compromise.
We did come up with a
And that's,
compromise.
and we're just building on that compromise.
We did.
And
And
that's
now
what
we
we're-
have people that continuously keep coming to us
I
and
know,
saying,
but
hey,
did-
did you know that this over here is not factual either? Or this
Okay,
over
but
here.
didn't we have a meeting with the FAA one night and they sat down and they answered all of those questions about
They did.
where that number is and
They did.
everything? So that we could get to that compromise.
Did the FAA come out here and physically inspect all 10 aircrafts that were allegedly here?
Do
at
they
whatever
do that?
time?
I don't believe they do that.
That's the problem is,
But here's we had to submit tail numbers. Now, those tail numbers, if they were registered at another airport, shows up as a conflict on this based aircraft. And you have to figure out what's going on. Now,
And they know they're giving us.
there's a lot of airports with the same issues where they don't go out there and delete tail numbers off there that have moved. I don't necessarily know when a pilot sells a plane and buys a different plane. That may not come up to me until the next time I go out to inspect a hangar, or maybe they just sell their hangar or whatever and they're getting done with it. It's until there's a change of what we're doing. That's part of the reason why the FAA understands, as long as we're making an effort and trying to get to that 10 aircraft. Now, when we had those hangars torn down, that limits the number of spaces where we could have covered aircraft. And that's a challenge for us because people want their planes tucked inside.
right,
Now, we talked about acquiring or building new hangars so that we can house more planes. Kind of like the Field of Dreams, you build it, they come. Storage units, the same thing. If you build them, people will fill them. Challenge is how do you finance them? What do you look at? And we had this conversation at the airport committee meeting with the city council that we have a couple of hangar owners that may be willing to work with us because they can build cheaper than we can by going through the federal process of going through documents and building construction projects, Davis Bacon wages and everything else.
right.
So they were looking at options for us to be able to finance them at a cheaper model, in which case the FAA still pays for a portion of that. Until the FAA says you're no longer eligible for the NIPIAS funding, we're still eligible. And they won't go back and go after the stuff after the fact unless there's a huge issue. It's just going forward saying, okay, you're not eligible for future funding until these needs are met.
Okay, so I would encourage you to.
Pull back my motion.
Yes, so we can
Table
discuss it.
situation?
Yes,
Okay, at this time, I will pull back my motion. And we will table it at this time till the next meeting,
Mary Ann's.
yep.
Agreed.
till the next, meeting of the whole or next council meeting,
Regular council meeting,
regular council meeting.
November 8th, I believe it is.
November 8th. Get that down, right?
November 10th.
Yeah.
November 10th, I'm sorry.
Okay. So I need a motion to table it then too, or not?
I believe that's what it just.
We'll table it, okay. And,
No second yet.
yeah,
Did you second
she
it?
seconded it, so Bill,
You got it.
Mary Ann,
Yes.
Joe.
Do we need to run through the whole thing again? Yes,
I was gonna do I have to take a vote for the table? Yes, so Bill,
Yes.
Mary Ann,
Yes.
Joe,
Tabling it until November 10th?
yes,
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Okay. All right,
And anybody that's got any knowledge of this airport that wants to come and be honest with me, please come. I would like to do all the digging I can possibly do.
okay. Randy, I saw, oh, he had to leave. Okay, Sam, you wanna come up? And Jason's here too. Oh, I'm sorry. We're hit in the middle there.
I really, nothing new that I have to report to council.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Jason. Sam?
So Manchester Anderson Street, we set property owner meeting will be Wednesday, November 19th at 6 o'clock at the fire station. So, letters will be going out.
They did go out last week.
Okay, letters went out last week.
Perfect.
And we're starting to get, some easements back, temporary easements, all the temporary permits are out there. I know Aaron sent over a list of, permanent easements that we haven't received back, but kind of talked at this time and just wait till the property owner meeting and having discussions with the property owners if they have any questions. And try to corral them then, and then if we need to do follow-ups after that, we can, but just to try to save time. Just kind of wait till after the property owner meeting in case they're waiting to ask questions at that time. And then initial proceedings for special assessments won't happen until after that property owner meeting. Right now, we're looking at maybe November 24th, but that may slide depending on what's discussed, if we gotta make any changes. And then water system booster pump project, we're working on that and updating the preliminary engineering report, to discuss the proposed improvements, and once that's wrapped up, we'll have discussion and sit down with Tim and Chad to submit for the intended use plan, for the SRF funding. So that's all I have unless there's any questions.
Any questions?
How far is Black Hills? Are they continuing out east or are they where they need to go? I'm getting some flack from the people that have driveways that had to pay for the driveways and now they're getting holes put in the middle of their driveways are not happy.
I don't have any specifics on that. I can just go off what I know. Perry commented last meeting that he was gonna have them replace whole panels for sidewalks.
Yeah.
But
that's-
they,
I mean, that-
Perry, cause I said, we're not involved. I know they're out there doing work along Anderson Street and I know they're putting a new main in along East Main. And they have to cross East Main laterally at some point. I think between Anderson Street and Bailey Drive, but yeah, and I mean, I know.
Yeah, it's a Black Hills project, not a city project, so, but we can, Perry has contacts, I think.
I don't know if Justin Lehman will give the correct contact for that. If you need that, let me know, but Perry might have a contact person for that.
That's the feedback I got. If you're gonna put a hole in there, do the whole panel, don't do the whole, cause we just had to pay for the whole panel.
Yeah, and that's what we're requiring.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for Sam? Right, thanks, Sam. All right. Jim,
Okay, well, you saw on the agenda, I was provided with a copy of an email that the council received last week, Mr. Vick provided to me. The email you received was alleging an employee of the city was involved in election interference. Before I wanted to go to that, I want you to understand the process of this. First thing I wanted to do is make sure whether this is a public or closed or some sort of confidential record, the email you received. Since it was addressed to you in your official email capacity and asking for the city to take action, it's a public record. So then the question, and I want to know that before I would talk today at a meeting. So what that email says, Mr. Minor alleges that a city employee said that he would resign if Mr. Minor was elected to office here. And that comment is being considered in that email as a political statement that would be entered by a city employee. The email you received, it requests that we take action to discuss this with the employee, that he may either give an apology, but in one set, it said we need to discuss with the employee to keep his opinions to himself. Well, this is important because we can't. Not with what we have here, because the letter you received, we don't know the context of any communication. We don't know any, we have no actual eyewitnesses coming forward to say what they heard him say. But even if he just made that one comment, more likely than not, no matter what the context is, public employees have a right of free speech. It is limited. You're not allowed to use your time while at work, promoting political ideas, but you need to know the context of any statement before you can say that. Private employees don't have that right. I could restrict the right of my employees in my office and not let them say anything about anything. I could even let them go, I suppose, if I didn't like their politics. It'd be dumb, but as a private employer, I can, but you as a public employer, you cannot restrict an employee's speech rights without more than this letter gives you. This letter really is hearsay on hearsay. It wouldn't be admissible. We don't have enough facts. So my recommendation is you take no action, that we don't contact the employee because we don't have any reason to. There's any restriction or comment to a public employee saying they need to watch what they say is restricting speech. If we have specific instances of an employee using their authority to go out and speak on behalf of the city, that's different. But just making what may very well be an offhand comment is not a political speech that I think any action that you would take to stifle that would subject you to civil rights violation. So I recommend no action in response to that letter.
What about as far as the connection from said employee to?
None of our business.
Okay, I'm just asking because that's been a question I've been
It's
asked.
truthfully none of our business. If You had Mr. Minor's allegations in that letter about another county employee he wants to address, and he can go to the county. It has nothing to do with us. And we are not going to restrict or take action on one of our employees because he may have given speech, regardless of whether it looks good or bad with a non-employee of our city.
Right.
And I gave thought to that too.
Yeah, I just wanna cover all the bases, make sure we get everything put out there.
Do you have anything else to
I
make?
have
then?
nothing else.
Okay. Tim?
We did get notification today that we were awarded the Iowa Rural Housing Readiness Grant. It's a $20,000 grant working with Iowa State Extension to do a housing study in the city of Manchester to help us prepare to see what we need for future growth and development. $20,000. Council approved us applying for that grant. We are currently working with ECIA out of Dubuque. It's actually the Regional Transit Authority, RTA, or excuse me, Regional Planning Affiliation, RPA, regarding a potential study of the intersections of Crescent Drive, North Franklin, Winslow Drive, North Franklin, and Honey Creek Road, North Franklin. Those three intersections up there are something we need to identify as to how we will correct those in the future. Because as we see more traffic going on those, there's potential for accidents based on where they're intersecting. You have to look back over your shoulder if you're coming southbound off Honey Creek Drive. Looking back up Highway 13, that is a state highway, so we have to work with the state on this. So see between the city of Manchester and the city of DeWitt, we are working with the RPA to conduct a study. Right now, there is an application out there, request for qualifications from engineering services to look at doing this project. Hope says that they'll review those the end of this month, and the start on that study would be beginning of the year.
Okay. Anything else?
I think I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Aaron?
Nothing.
Okay. Brian?
Sure.
Oh, we are working on scheduling our audit right now, so
Okay.
the auditors will probably be in within the week to audit us for fiscal year 25.
And we're using the same one we used last year?
Yes.
Okay.
And just for clarifications on that, Aaron, would you like to let everybody know what you're being audited on, please?
Our entire fiscal year. They, the auditors come in, they have guidelines they follow from the state auditor's office, where they go through all of our utility billing, all of our payroll, all of our accounts payable, all of our general ledger, make sure we're filing appropriate reports from general budgeting standpoint, as well as payroll and sales tax and all of that. It's a very thorough review of the records. They go through all of our bank statements, review all of those to make sure deposits and checks and all of that look correct. They pull different invoices to double check for signatures and that they're appropriate expenditures. So, it's always time consuming, but it always a good exercise.
I just wanted to take that time to educate a little bit of the public that may have some concerns that we've seen recently.
And we are audited every fiscal year.
Any other questions for Aaron? Nope. Okay. Brian? Linda?
Everything tonight.
Okay. Mary Ann?
Nothing.
Joe?
I got, I've had some, concerned citizens bring up, Halloween trick or treating coming up on Friday, with the playoff game and everything being at West Delaware. Just, they were wanting to know if there was any change in time or moving anything around.
Is it here or is it at Mount Vernon?
No, it's here.
It's
It's here.
Oh,
here.
they moved that. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
traditionally in the past, we have not moved it. We've had playoff games happen like this before. I think the game starts at 7:30, 7:15.
And it only goes to.
So trick or treating goes from 5 to 7 and
They're just kind of concerned with it being as close to West Delaware and the fact that one of the most popular streets in all of town is right up in there. I mean, it's gonna be busy up in that area for.
I've had people want to change it also so that the kids aren't all, high on candy the next day too. So,
Sunday
and-
nights,
yeah, it's hard to change our date when other communities around us, and if their parents are taking them to other communities as well. So, our kids are taking them to see grandpa and grandma in another community, so try to keep it. But yeah,
Stop buying all the junk from down there at the Walmart and Fairways and start getting nice snacks from like Bushel and LaFetter or something. The other thing was the hospital intersections. So both intersections, one right at the top of the bridge and then the one that is the last one before Quick Start. When pulling out of those two intersections, there's a lot of concerns from people about being able to get out. I actually was up at the doctor's office today and it took me 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Sitting right next to the Dent Park to get out. So they're just, some concerns coming from the citizens on that and just kind of just throw that out there and see if there's something we can do.
Would that have to be through the DOT?
It would be a
Yeah,
DOT.
it's gonna be with the state and stuff, so.
They're doing a research for north of town. Are they doing this side too?
No, the RFQ is specifically for just this area, walking up there.
When with the air or the hospital growing as much as it is, and I mean, that's
Largest employer in the county.
right, and it's just gonna get worse in that intersection up there, so there was just concern that citizens wanted me to bring up tonight.
So do we bring that to the DOT, Arkansas?
We do, DOT is gonna say, well, have you conducted a study?
Oh.
So we'll take a look into it. Part of that is obviously speed studies. We use speed studies. We try to reduce speeds out there. DOT's been hesitant to do that. Their mission is different than ours. Their mission is to get people from point A to point B as quick as possible. Ours is to get people here in town, to do what we do here. So yeah, we can definitely look at that. And then when we start looking at that, what are the options? And traffic signals, stop sign, those are all expensive options, roundabouts. You know, there's just so many different things to look at and monitor. One time, West Main Street was a 4-lane road. A lot of people forget that, and that was even harder to get in and out of. Moved to the 3-lane, that eased things because people only had to get past 1 lane. So,
We have
Yeah,
the
that
same
would-
thing out there by Easy Pickens too,
Yeah.
that dangerous spot there too.
Yeah.
It's some of the problems you'll have with growth, but
The trick to the hospital is always turn right.
Mhm.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Go around the block. It's much easier.
Bill,
The only thing I got, Mayor, is, Wednesday, 1 o'clock, Manchester Vitality, they're in,
dedication.
somebody called today from the state, they're coming out
Yep.
too.
Yep, IDA is gonna be
Debbie
there.
Durham.
Debbie Durham's gonna be there, yeah.
So, yeah, cause they need electricity for this and that and that and this, so. I just wanna make sure everybody knows that they're invited to 201 North Franklin Street for the big mural dedication, so. That's all I got, Mayor.
Okay. I don't have anything else for this evening. It is 6:26. I'll take a motion from Mary Ann, a second from Linda, that we're adjourned, and we are adjourned.